Hello everybody and welcome back to Forever and Ever, the Kelly Fans Podcast. It's episode number 31 of season 4. We're coming to you live from Limelight Studios in Irvine. My name is Paul Montgomery and I'm joined by my co-host and friend Callum Scott. Hi Cal.
How are you, Paul? You alright?
I'm very well, mate. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Just back for Glencoe there, so...
Up doing a bit of skiing?
Well, no man, I was up there paying my tributes to the McDonald clan.
Is that what you're after, aye?
Well, genuinely, true story, aye,
Right.
absolutely. Even though my surname is Scott,
Right.
but either apparently my ancestors fled the massacre, so that's why I'm here to this day.
Straight into the hot topics as ever.
Exactly.
That was 35 seconds and we're fleeing massacres. That's a record even for us. How did you pay tribute then to your forefathers? Tell us all about that. What did you do?
What did I do, man? Taking it easy the first day, to be fair.
No major tributes on the first day.
No major tributes. A bit more sombre, man.
Aye.
That ultimate respect, kind of silence there. But the day I went to the actual Glencoe where it actually happened, not just the surroundings, and very eerie. Could feel it, mate.
Aye, it's a beautiful part of the world.
Aye, stunning.
Legit, and it really, really is, and it's on my doorstep.
As well, that's same as all. You don't even appreciate how close like Loch Lomond is to you till you make the pilgrimage up, man.
Aye, there you go. So you've been enjoying the beautiful country this weekend. My daughter was 20 yesterday.
Frightening. That's 2 years for her 18th.
I know. Aye, so happy birthday to Faith. So we went out yesterday and had we marked the occasion with a couple of beverages and a nice lunch. Your brother phoned me all the way from Hungary.
Oh, but Matthew?
Aye, he did. Aye.
What was he saying to it?
He was just phoning to check in. He said he liked my Facebook post that I wrote about Faith.
It's really nice, man.
So I spoke to him and I spoke to Sarah. It was nice.
He doesn't seem to phone me randomly though, so
no.
You should count yourself blessed.
Don't be jealous.
It's kind of that way folks say if there's one of the bets, like if you were to, like, I don't know, 500 quid that somebody wouldn't answer their phone, who would you
Aye,
back?
Who would you
Matthew would be one of them.
Aye, so he never answer.
Never answers.
No.
But then he'll maybe say the same about me.
He's got to protect his peace. But maybe he did try to call you and you were halfway up Glencoe.
That's very true, man.
Laying a bunch of flowers for your great grandpa.
But they get away, man. It was just their mates and that I was respecting.
Aye, okay.
They all fled to Ireland or something.
Right, okay, everybody, loads and loads to get through. As you know, we had a game last week up at Ibrox. We'll pick through the bones of that, and two massive games coming up this week, both at home. Wednesday night feels like the big one, probably the biggest game of the season, I would say. We're at home to St Mirren. We'll talk about that. Then we've got Celtic again on Sunday. We'll do your questions that are on the Twitter and now on the kellyfc.com forums. We'll go through those. We've got an announcement for a friend at Pod, Fraser Wilson, who's running the Kelly Beer Fest again, so we'll get a wee bit of info on that, and everything in betwixt and between.
Aye, absolutely. We'll just kind of crash through the Rangers game, but
crash through it, mate.
Aye,
like Mick Foley in Hell in a Cell.
What one?
Well, there you go.
I mean, well, through after Hell in a Cell, then crash through
the
aye,
roof.
Aye.
I think the roof one wasn't planned.
No, it wasn't.
The table spot was.
And then when Taker went down to see if he was alright, Mick Foley's response, "It's alright, man, just drop that bag of thumbtacks." And
aye, let's keep it going, man. Keep the train rolling.
And Tombstone me onto them, man.
Excellent.
Get rid of it.
A trooper. I think he's maybe come back, by the way, Foley. I think he's for a match in AEW.
It's funny though, because for as much as he's always regarded as like the good guy in that, again, bringing Matthew into it, said they didn't have a pleasant experience meeting him.
Aye.
He came to the Grand Hall.
That's right, I was there.
Said he was a bit of a prick, which his folk would be maybe shocked at.
Well, Mick, if you want to come on the pod and discuss what you think the Kelly starting lineup will be and respond to Matthew's claims that you're a prick, then you're welcome anytime. Right, you were up at Ibrox on Wednesday night, down to 10 men after 4 minutes. Debatable decisions, definitely a penalty. A lot of folk, it seems kind of 50-50 whether or not it's a red card. However, it totally screws us for the game. You're never coming out with anything there. I thought we were fantastic in that first half, I have to admit. But to play that well with 10 men really, really encouraged me in a lot of ways. I actually thought we were decent enough in the second half, and all the last 10-15 minutes it just got away from us. Any team struggles going to Ibrox and playing with 10 men for 90 minutes. The best teams, I'm not saying they would get beat 5-1, but it would be a hard shift. What was your take on that game, mate? We'll just dive into it quickly.
Aye, well, for the beginning, it's the worst possible start, and again, that goes without saying. You talk about when you go to all these big runs, it's always the 15 minutes increments, and we're lucky we actually had Stephen Murray in the podcast that confirmed that for us. Remember, that's usually just a thing that you say as a punter, but he said as players that they would go to games like that and they grow their selling. So when you're talking after 3 minutes, you've pulled a guy down in the box. There's only one outcome. At the time, I had absolutely no complaints. Having seen it back, I still don't really have any complaints about the red card, although I think that some of it is unavoidable. But the letter of the law is you bring somebody down with no intent to play the ball, it's got clear goal scoring opportunity, it's a red card and a penalty. So harsh, but the response for that was incredible. Thought we were excellent, really good. Miss a couple of great chances. Bruce will obviously be kicking himself, that's one that he's got to bury. And Rangers are already getting booed off at half time, never mind if we're getting in there with a draw. Don't get me wrong, I always felt like even if we were to get ourselves back in the game that Rangers would have, kicked on a wee bit just because of the advantage, because we were always got to run out of steam. But one of the big moments for me was the Tavernier incident on John Jules. When I was in the ground at the time, I was like, I wonder whether VAR will look at that, and I didn't know it was Tavernier. I thought it was one of the other players, and I thought it's probably a bit soft for a straight red, but I wonder if they'll look at it. But in fairness, I don't think the ball goes out of the park for them to have a chance to look at it before Rangers score. But when I was telling myself that I thought it was a soft red card, I did think that it was 100% a foul, and you couldn't complain if it was a yellow. Then to come out the ground and find out that was Tavernier, then you're kicking yourself a wee bit, thinking, well, the Rangers are a bit nervy anyway. They get down to 10, we've got the ascendancy a wee bit, but it's just one of them. Sometimes the decisions do go against you. I think it would be soft. I do concede that, but I don't think Tavernier could have had any complaints if it did go against them. And then towards the end of the game, as you said, we're on out of steam, and I think the extra couple of goals maybe it's a lot more harsher on us than the scoreline really should have been. But again, there's a lot of heart to take for that, and it's not often you come out a game getting beat 5-1 and folk are actually kind of like, oh no, we're actually alright. Like, it's quite a rare occurrence.
Aye, well, I feel the very same. I thought 5 was harsh. I thought when it was at 3-1, I thought that's probably the reflection on the game. Definitely Rangers deserve to win, I don't have any problems with that. But aye, the instant with Taverniers is quite tough to take, because for me, when it happened, I thought, oh, John Jules has played for that one, there's maybe nothing in it. But I never even got to replay it properly, like when I was watching it, and I thought interesting. And then the replays, I've seen it back, I do think if the ball goes straight out, I would assume it would have been checked, and I think there is a big case. But it's tough. You're maybe not going to get that decision, particularly after Rangers got the part and score. You know what I mean? That's a strong referee that rules the goal off, goes back and sends off the captain. So it doesn't make it right, but you know what you're getting.
In said fairness, I'm not even one to kind of see that. I don't want to see kind of goals chalked off.
No, I'm with you too, actually.
And I think that's harsh, because the big thing that stands out for me, folk will argue that it is a straight red and denying a goal scoring opportunity. I really do think that it could be, but it's a bit soft. But I think at the time the ref has got to give a foul, and it's a second yellow, and he's got to go. That's my take on it. I don't think it's a straight red. Therefore, even if VAR look at it, like as in not to call the ref to the monitor, as in to look at it, they probably don't see enough to take him. It'd be different if it was a complete holding. Aye. John Jules, you mentioned it there, but he does play for it to an extent, but he's entitled to do that. Aye. Unfortunately, that's just the way football is now. And you can even make an argument that the penalty comes for that. Like is it Gassama?
Gassama, he knows what he's doing, doesn't he?
He knows what he's doing, but again, Thompson bundles in at the back of him. It's a penalty and no complaints. But aye, a lot to take for it, man, and we were very, very brave. That's the best way to describe it. I think the first half we were so brave, went toe to toe, and we just ran out of steam second, as any team would.
Created a few chances. So impressed, mate, by Ethan Shelty-Brown. I think the amount of clearances he was making, headers, and his positioning's first class. Such an impressive performance for him, and he's really grown in stature, obviously. And it's funny, mate, because Ben Brannan was obviously the one that burst onto the scene. He's now obviously went to on loan to Inverness, and it's Shelty-Brown now who's probably going to end the season as the kind of shining light for the youth team coming through. He was great, wasn't he? And that bodes really, really well for us and for him, I think.
Well, he's the absolute shoe-in, and certainty the now to win the Supporters Young Player of the Year, like Bobby Wills did last year. I don't think that there's any doubt of that, especially with Brannan now getting out to Inverness on loan. But excellent, and again, similar to how he played against Aberdeen, where he looked like, I think I said on here, that he looked like he was playing for 10 years again, going to Ibrox, playing in front of 50,000 with a team chasing, getting a title race. He didn't look out of place at all. And again, such a rare thing to say after you come off the part and you've conceded 5 goals, but he genuinely did play very well, and something to build on.
What about John Jules?
I think he's
So he was
excellent.
absolutely outstanding in that first half.
Aye, brilliant.
Really, really so good. I think he's a really good player. I know the jury has been out on him, but I would hope now that everybody can see the value in him. So composed, mate, and strong as anything. And he's scored a few goals too. It's not just like he's just doing these things. And I know if you want to play him through the middle, and we'll maybe talk about that going forward for the next 2 games, but the way he was peeling off, mate, and helping out defensively, and just to me looked like a cut above, looked like a guy you can tell has played with really, really, really good players. I was really encouraged by his performance, and I'd like to see him on a couple of years deal.
From the off, I've thought there was something to work with, and now that there's absolutely no doubt of that whatsoever. And as you've just said there, it's the case that he does look a level above. You know what I mean? That's like the kind of. So again, credit to Kettlewell. God rest him, man. But you can replay that, man. Credit to Stu Kettlewell, man. One of his 15 signings I've paid that. But again, those are the kind of like that you always hope for when you think, oh, this guy's got the pedigree for before. He's not been able to find his home and all the rest of it. But he does it. He looks so good. And when you mentioned these goals there, we've spoke about it before, but it's all different types of finishes he's got in it.
You're right.
And he's both feet, and he's strong, as you said. The amount of times he looks like he's about to lose the ball, and then next thing shove somebody out the way and he's still got it. And I think now we're seeing him getting up to speed, because one of the kind of criticisms for me was times that maybe taking him too long to get the ball at his feet, but that only comes with marked sharpness. And I think that, I mean, he led the line well. I know he kind of drifted after the left, but what a shift he had to put in at Ibrox, and it was outstanding.
Aye, quite exciting then, mate. Considering we could beat 5-1, but it's just amazing. This is why statistics don't do it for me, really, in terms of football players. You watch the game with your eyes, mate. You get a feeling for it, right? And that is a much better. We were up there earlier on in the season. Was it 4 we get beat?
Aye.
4-1 and Stanger scored the heater.
Aye, that's right. Yeah.
And we beat 5-1 with 10 men, and it was a much better performance and a much better outcome. So that's why you just, I maybe was slightly wary about certain stats and stuff like that. But aye, so loads to build on, which is a real positive. Wednesday night, massive fixture against St Mirren. We were a wee bit unlucky, I thought, last week. They go and beat Hearts when they've been on a bad run. You're kind of hoping Hearts do you a favour and keep them dragged right in. But I've got a bad feeling that things are going to just, it's maybe just going to be a stretch too far now. Even if we pick things up, which I'm confident we're going to. But for me, Wednesday night's a must win, mate. If you want to catch St Mirren specifically, you've got to go and beat them on Wednesday night. How are you feeling about that one?
This is it. It's the season defining game, to be honest. And getting to give Scott Watson a shout out. He called us weeks ago when he was on the pod, said that I think it welcomed into then. And it's one of them, we win, we go 9 points clear of Livy. So you're like, right, you can, again, touching wood, you're not looking behind you, and it is a full focus on who's above you, and you're reeling back in potentially St Mirren, Dundee. 3 points in it, albeit they've got a game in hand if it works out that way. But it's a case of like, you know that you've still got to play all these teams again. Aye. So it's, you would 100% take that. But I'm with you, it seems like it's just too huge, man. And you're like, is it setting up for disappointment on Wednesday night? But the thing that I need to emphasise and make clear is, and again, I like football and I want to hear it, but I'm so much more confident than I was this time 2 weeks ago about if it comes down to the playoff, man. Which then, like when we're on BBC and that, they asked, oh, would you take the playoff? I was like, absolutely would. In the new, I think that we'll have we'll have more than enough for Livy, you hope. But it's all about if we win on Wednesday, and then we can maybe start. But I'm with you. I think that you still need a lot of things to go for you, but we need to start looking after ourselves. No way to do that is by winning on Wednesday. Aye,
well that's it. Crunch time is new here. We're into February. There's only 12-13 games left of the season. It's new. You've got to go and win now. Like, I know folk will say a draw, you're kicking the can down. You've got to go and win. It's time to go and do it, because even winning doesn't mean you're out of that position. No. You've still got plenty today, but you've got to reel St Mirren in, and they are your competitors. The recent record has been a wee bit mixed. We obviously taken an absolute hammering up there. They beat us in the cup on penalties, which was a fair one. We obviously had that famous win, the 5-2 that we done the live show that day. We're at eachy peachy with them just now. They seem to have stumbled after winning the cup, but they'll be. This will be a big game for them too, because they'll know they come down here, do a number on us, they can take the foot off the gas a wee bit. They'll know they're nearly safe. So it's got all the makings of a really, really big one, mate. And I think we've got to get behind the team under the floodlights on Wednesday night, mate.
We do, we absolutely do. And these are the things that all seems to come down to these St Mirren games that are now like a big games this season. There's this wee kind of rivalry that's materialised certainly over the last maybe decade or so. But you just mentioned some of the huge games there. I mean, last season they obviously gave us that tanking, but before that, when it was a race for fourth, like that was the key thing, that we never lost a game to St Mirren. You know what I mean? And I think that we won 1-2 and drew 2.
Aye.
And that's what it came down to in the end. But it's one that, well, you're looking forward to it, aren't you?
Well, it's the most excited I've been about a game since the Hearts night, when we get, what's the word? That taken the stuffing out of me that night, Callum, when Hearts beat us at Rugby Park, the 3-0 win, because I was all guns blazing, and then I felt all down in the dumps after it for a few weeks.
It was horrendous, wasn't
Got
it?
myself into an office state. I was too emotional.
We both felt quite humiliated, not just for
humiliated, it's a good word.
The performance on the park. We were obviously good for 20 minutes, but everything that surrounded that game. You and I were on here trying to beat the drum man and give me a couple of fools.
We did.
More so than usual.
Aye, well, most weeks that's the case. But it's a big one, so I'd encourage anybody, if you're able to get along on Wednesday night. I'm really, really excited for it, coming straight from my work as well.
Oh, because you've been working late.
I work late on a Wednesday now, so but I'm really looking forward to it, man, and it's absolutely huge. Celtic will take care of itself, mate. But you've got to hope, like, see if you can come out of this week with 4 points, man. It's absolutely massive, and we are one of the few teams that haven't taken a point off the Old Firm yet. They're dropping points left, right and centre. Not so much now, they've both picked up to an extent, particularly Rangers, who've been on a really, really good run. Celtic are finding a way to win, but if we can be back here this time next week and we've managed to pick up 4 points, it just changes everything, man. You would take that in a heartbeat, and for the first time it feels like it could happen, I think.
I'm with you, because when I was thinking there about what we're coming on to when you were eventually got to ask the predictions and vice versa, my prediction was got to be that this time next week we'll have 4 points for these next 2 games, which is mental, because your form throughout the season does not suggest that. And Ken, we're on here talking about it week in, week out. We don't need to go over that, but just get a wee feeling that it all kind of comes down to the Wednesday night, though, doesn't it? If you go and you get the huge result on the Wednesday, then everybody's bags of confidence going into the Celtic game. I think that Celtic have, except for under Ange, have struggled at Rugby Park for the best part of, again, a decade, just about. Folk will say the big variable there's the pitch, but again, Ange came down and absolutely beasted us on it twice. So, but I just think that I think Celtic are there to be got at. I've taken a lot of confidence just for the way that we approach the Rangers game. Never mind us at home. Like, I just think that at least we're going to go and have a go. And in fairness, to be fair, a lot of the times, particularly at home, our record against Old Firm's been good, so I can't even have a go at McInnes for that. And Kettlewell, even though we didn't pick up any points, we were far worst when we both played Rangers and Celtic. So even the current squad have got to take a lot for that and think that they're vulnerable. And again, Celtic are constantly, I mean, the pressure's on Celtic, you know what I mean? Folk will say, I mean, we need to win games, but they're the ones that are supposed to be chasing a title race, and I ken that they'll be saying we need to look after ourselves, but they'll be playing catch up. Or is it, no, Rangers and Hearts play after them? That's it.
Is it that afternoon? It's a big day for the whole league then, isn't it? It's a big one, but that's the stage of the season we're at now. It's getting to that stage. So we'll be at both games.
But we are getting the only reason we're going to the Celtic game, man, to see Martin O'Neill's tracky in the flesh.
Listen, don't. Well, you said that this time, no me, because I'm not taking that level of abuse again. It's shattered my confidence.
That's appalling, wasn't it?
It was terrible.
How can folk not see it for what it was?
It was a joke. But then again, mate, we've got folk slagging us for talking about rolls and sausage last week.
I know, mate.
I don't know what to say. Quite a lot of folk getting angry at that because we called it a roll and slice.
I know.
I wouldn't call it a roll and slice, I'd call it a roll and sausage.
Aye.
And they go, oh, you want square or links? And I go, square, right. But I'm reading out a question. Like, I'm reading out what somebody sent to me. So don't come at me and be like, oh, what you fucking talking about? It's a wrong square.
I know, man. But that's...
Calm down, man.
That's the way the world is, unfortunately, man.
Honestly, folk just can't wait to have a pop.
They're so sensitive about so many things, man.
And think of the amount of times that we've been angry or upset at people and we don't say anything.
No, we don't, mate.
We bite our tongue. We support them to the hilt.
We lead by example.
That's the whole point. Starmer in or Starmer out?
Oh, well, there's again, we need to come back to the Boz Bus question for a few weeks ago. I could not read out a question about the island, and I'm not talking about Aaron anyway, when I've got Don Bircham and Jim Thompson sitting across from
No.
But that would have been good. We'll see it wasn't the Kathy Jimison, right? Or not?
Aye. So we'll stay out of the politics until the Patreon. I think there's political questions on that.
There is political questions which we're looking forward to getting our teeth into.
So we'll get stuck into it. Right, I'm going to Dave Fraser's. Fraser Wilson, who's friend at Pod and is the convener and founder of the Killie Beer Festival, which was a roaring success last year, and he's been on the podcast. He sent in a wee message just to get the troops rallied if you fancy going along again. Hope you guys are well, and thanks for giving us a slot in the podcast to talk about the Killie Beer Festival, which is returning on Saturday, May 30th at Rugby Park. We'd love to have been in the studio talking all things Killie and beer with you, but his wife and my wife and I are in Rome for a long weekend watching the rugby and escaping our children for a few days. Hopefully we can catch up later in the season. You watch the rugby?
No.
You've got nothing good to say about rugby, haven't you? No.
Nah.
Do you know what the Scotland score was?
Can they get bait?
Aye.
But nah, just can't
get into it.
But as I've said time and time again, I've not got any actual beef with the sport. And I've no beef with Fraser here. I've also had a close friend that was out watching the rugby.
Yes.
I've got to humiliate on the podcast, Andy Barlow, that was out doing that. But it's the folk that watch rugby that really get to me. Because
fucking hell, man. Can we not get 1 week without somebody coming for us? But again, everybody, this is him. Leave me alone. I'm here reading the questions. I caught rolls and sausage, and I think if you watch rugby, you're sound. Cal.
So again, I've got a lot of mates that I've got pals that like rugby.
I've got a lot of mates. How can I hate rugby? I've got pals that like it.
Exactly, but I just what I find is a lot of folk that seem to watch rugby, they just take a pot shot at football any time. I've never watched a game of football and thought, Ken, why this is better than rugby? Like, Ken, it goes without saying why it's better than rugby, but right. I never compare it to another sport. That's my sole purpose, and that's its sole purpose is all the days compare it to football. Now, if that happened to a football player, it'd be rolling about. Aye, mate, it's a different sport. They're not allowed to punch folk either, like a boxer. So you don't watch boxing and think, if that was a football player, he'd be rolling about. Aye, because he's got a shot to the heat, man. That's what he'd be rolling about. So I just can't. That's what really frustrates me about it. So
you want to congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks who were in the Super Bowl last night. You want to comment to MD?
Who were they playing?
They were playing the New England Patriots.
The Pats.
Any interest in the Super Bowl?
No, it's something that I would potentially like to get into at some point in my life, but I've not got the time for it.
Right.
Like's a big phrase and that loves
they love it,
NFL.
Okay, right, anyway, sorry Fraser, we'll just get sidetracked here. Right, key things to note. We're hosting our ticket sales event at the Park Hotel Thursday, February the 26th. This is aimed at ensuring locals can get first dibs at tickets and can do so without the additional online booking fees. It's a great chance to get in early and secure your tickets as well as support the hotel in these challenging months. The sales event runs from 6pm to 9:30pm on Thursday, February the 26th. Last year they were queued out the door, selling well over 700 tickets on the night, so get along. After that, the tickets will go on general sale the following Friday, March the 6th. My birthday that day. They're confident that they're going to reach their 2,500 capacity, so get along to that if you fancy. It was an absolutely brilliant day last year. I hear you say, how much are they? Quanto costa, as they would say in Italy, apparently. Tickets cost £15, ensure entry to the event, a commemorative cup and access to over 25 food and drink providers, as well as free live entertainment throughout the day. The event is aimed at showcasing the best of independent Scottish brewers and producers and supports the club financially as we lease the land from them, as well as hosting top quality beer from Scottish brewers on the day. Food vendors are serving up the Killie Gyros, barbecue, smashed burgers, curries, fish and chips, pizza, dim sum and gyozas. There's champagne, prosecco and frozen margaritas, cocktails, and Ayrshire cider. We're really proud of the event. Despite the poor weather at the start of it last year, we're confident it's going to be even better this year and can be an event that Killie are proud of too. So please get along and support that if you can. He's going to go and eat his big bowl of pasta and bid us farewell for the land of the Romans, Arrivederci. So there you go, everybody. Get along, support that event. It's absolutely class. So the hotel is your best chance of getting a ticket. Thursday, February the 26th, or they go on general sale the following Friday. Thank you, Fraser.
Excellent.
I love beer and I love drinking it outside.
Well, that's the thing, and you've just got to hope that the weather does hold up this year.
Aye.
But again, by all accounts, I wasn't able to make it last year. I know you were there, but it was still turned out to be a brilliant day, and it's one of them that you just hope that it becomes now a staple of the year, and everybody knows that it comes up, man.
Happy days. Right, okay, everybody. Right, so what we'll do is we'll take a short intermission and get a message for our sponsors at Allied Surveyors, and then we'll come back and we'll answer your questions from the KillieFC.com forums and the Twitter.
Allied surveyors have been carrying out valuations and home reports across Ayrshire and in Kilmarnock for over 20 years. Company director and lifelong Kelly fan Nick Davis is based here at 91 John Finney Street and is here to help you if you've got any questions or queries or are looking to get your home sold.
Alright, huge thank you to Nick Davis at Allied Surveyors. If you've got any questions or queries or you're looking to get something valued, Nick is 100% your man, and a great man he is as well. Thank you so much to him for helping us out with the poddy. Right, mate, we'll go over to the forums and see what's what.
Aye, we always start with the forums now, man.
Start with the forums, mate. You've got to keep it in-house if you can. It's just taking a wee second to load up here on my information device.
And I think we've, again, broken into the second page on the forums.
Absolutely sensational, mate. Right, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, the bellman gets in touch with another kick-off time being moved to accommodate TV coverage. This is obviously the Hearts game, which has been moved to 8 PM on the Saturday. Isn't it about time the 3 PM rule for TV was binned? These late kick-off times can have a huge effect on attendances, both for season ticket holders and walk-ups. There is no way a Kelly game being televised at 3 would affect the attendance at any other match. 8 PM is horrendous. What are you thinking, mate?
It's just, aye, it's so frustrating, but if they want to ban the 3 PM rule, then again it would just like folk would find something else to moan about with it, to be honest. The thing that I would like to see is us playing Rangers and Celtic at Rugby Park at 3 o'clock on a Saturday again.
They were great days. Loved it.
Does not exist anymore. Any Rangers and Celtic away day is...
It gives Andy McLaren.
Aye.
3 PM against them at Rugby Park.
So
gives Paulo Di Canio.
So I would love to see a return to that, but again, just to address the 8 o'clock, I mean, what a shambles, man. Like, really bad. I'm a big advocate of the kind of 5:30 kick-off in the Saturday night.
Aye, you have always said that.
Like that, but 8 o'clock is ludicrous, and never mind for us as home fans, but the away support, man, it's outrageous that it kicks off later than a game during the week, really, like, even by, 15 minutes, but I think that's ludicrous, man, and again, just shows that the folk that are actually paying to watch the Fitbin the Grun are the last folk that I ever thought about.
I've got a solution. Don't go. I'm hand on heart. Appeal to all the Kelly fans, appeal to all the Hearts fans. You're getting to watch it on the telly anyway. Don't go. Leave the Grunt completely empty, and then we'll see how much the television companies want to move it when they wouldn't be able to ignore it. They'd be like, there's nobody here, and the reason they're not here is because we fucked about with the kick-off time. Don't go. Leave the Grunt empty. I would genuinely encourage nobody to go to that because they're ripping the piss clean out of you, and if we keep going, they'll keep doing it. But I would say Hearts fans and Kelly fans, go and support your local pub that night. Don't go to the game. Let it be a completely empty stadium and let Sky deal with explaining that.
Well, the thing is as well, it's like devaluing the season ticket anyway,
totally.
Because the amount of folk, in particularly with that short notice.
Aye,
like,
it's ridiculous, mate.
Folk have got stuff already in the calendar and that, but I will definitely not clip that bit out because that's just setting us up for folks saying, what, Rugby Park's empty all the time, TV cameras,
which is quite funny.
Aye.
Which is quite funny. Right, Samo got in touch to say, although we lost on Wednesday night, I feel there was loads of positives, so did we, mate. I think it was potentially our Stevie Clark v Hibs moment where we lost the game, but it was the start of the resurgence. So you remember we got beat 3-0 by Hibs, but we clapped the boys after part. They were tremendous in the Steve Clark days, so had shades of that possibly?
There are shades of that possibly, and what I'll say is that folk have been desperate to use that for so many instances that just have not, but the example Samuel's given is the closest one to that to date, so I 100% can see that. Came out getting bet 5-1 for Rangers, folk are like, we're actually alright. Like, bizarre. And again, a big marker is how my dad takes the game, and he was actually been like, we're excellent first half, and I'm like, which anybody would, but
get that pinned in the dressing room, man.
He's a hard man to please, particularly under McCann and Dodgy, but he's starting to come round. But there's been folk like, remember we came out from Motherwell 1-0 Tommy Wright, and folk had it in the forum saying that was like that was our Hibs moment. That wasn't he, man. But Samuel's that's the best example to date, so I can see where he's coming from.
Right, LH31 says, what's the weirdest thing you defend way too passionately?
Rolls and slices, man.
Aye. What's a Kelly one? Keep it Kelly.
A Kelly one? Oh, like the support.
Aye.
With regards to numbers,
right.
I'm like, no, Killer genuinely and Motherwell are the two best supported teams by head of population in Europe.
Wow.
So, aye.
There you go.
Or you maybe throw Schalke in there because I think they're some bizarre kind of situation whereby the capacity of their grounds.
Aye, there's probably about 3,000 folk in the town and they get 50,000 at the home games.
Dingwall as well, to be fair. Ross County have got good support that way. But aye, the big frustrating thing is when folk always look at Kelly and they're like, sports passion, you're like, right. Another question, what about the community? Maybe contradicts this slightly, but you're like, right, we've got 4,500 season ticket holders. Population of Kilmarnock's 45,000, so by that logic, you get 1 in 10 folk going to the games that are season ticket holders. Apply that across the board, and you would see what clubs should be getting. So Aberdeen should be getting like 25,000 a week, and they don't get it, and they're 20 mile from Glasgow.
Alright.
What about you?
The weirdest Kelly-related thing I defend too passionately, Stephen A. Smith wasn't that good.
You're so bad with it.
I just don't think he was as good as folk make out.
Do you want to tell everybody again that you played with him in the district?
It's not to do with that, alright? I'm fucking out with that.
Did he play in front of you, or did you play?
That's not to do with it.
No, but I mean, as in, like, literally
on
the park in front of you, because you played left back, he played left mid, or to play up top.
So I never actually played in the same team as him.
Oh, right.
So, how did it work again? Maybe I did. But, he would have been in front of me anyway, because I was playing left back or left wing back at that point. He was, but Nacy played wherever he wanted. He was that good. But then he turned shite when he made it. Right, Gal Dunk says, I love the mugs you use each episode. Can I buy one? So, these are the only 2 of these mugs that exist in the world, and it was Stu, the great Stu, that made them for us. But I will maybe come back to that.
I was talking about getting a TikTok shop going.
Fucking hell, man. I need to come off that TikTok. I'm addicted to it now.
Oh, right. No, I will see. The good thing is that you've got the login for it.
Aye.
I just occasionally, because you can no longer like preview without an account.
Oh,
used to do that in the big bad old days, but I've only done that, and then I'll just go and check, like, to see what's happening with the videos that you post all the time.
We do get great views.
Aye.
Thousands upon thousands, and quite good interactions for folk. But some people are really mean on it.
I know, and it's all faceless accounts, man.
But it's because it gives you obviously algorithms. So it's like what are the things that you're into watching. So if you watch it for 1 minute, you get a big slew of them. So I just end up watching these dugs eating their dinner. Right? It's that these 3 big giant dugs,
God,
and they eat like a big tray of mince. And I've obviously been like, fucking hell, man, they're really eating that mince, and now that's all I get.
Nah, man.
So I'm going to need to freshen up my feed.
The less the...
Jamie, you can tell us how to do that, right? We've got Jamie in the studio tonight. You'll meet him out on the Patreon. You'll meet him here next week, but he can maybe give us a few hints and tips on how to work TikTok. Remember, I kept sending somebody a direct message and all, Aaron. I think it was Robert Foster's boy.
Oh, did you?
I didn't know how I was doing it. I was clicking on things that was going, you've sent this to Aaron. I had to measure him. Mate, I don't even know how I'm doing that, man.
You're damn, man.
Apologies, mate.
But you on the Instagram reels?
Aye.
Oh, that's where there's some right good patter on that, man.
Aye, some of the stuff you send me.
Aye, but the less said about the algorithm there, the better, man. The less said, the better.
Right, well, we move on.
Aye.
Right, Barbino gets in touch. How mouthwatering is the strike force of Hugo and TJJ? Speaking of which, TJJ coming onto a game, should we be tying him down to a longer deal? Yes, I think so. And I thought Hugo looked good and all, man. Quite athletic, quite quick.
Good size about him, man.
Aye.
Dale would say. So, and apparently pace to burn. I think we said that last week. He's good at coming deep, but he can get in behind, and he's one that I'm quite excited to see. But see, the thing is, I admire what they're doing, because we're actually playing really good football in a 4-4-2 diamond, but we need the wingers in. So yes. I think Curtis, we've maybe got a question about this, but
I think we do.
Curtis and that's got to come in surely on Wednesday night, because he's Rangers aren't sending him down here.
No, he's got to play. No point otherwise.
And it'll be interesting to see how we shape up now, man, because I want to see John Jones through the middle in a front 3.
Right. Okay, we'll come back to that in a second. Rango Dog says yes to extending TJJ's contract. The big ring. I don't think Ross has done too badly, but do you feel Stryek should start against Saints? And what 2 do you go for up front, assuming it's a pair? So we'll answer that in a second. But goalkeeper situation, Stryek's back in the bench. Do you throw him back into the team?
Ross actually has been alright. I think there's been obviously a couple of dodgy moments, and even the last goal that he actually had a decent enough game at Ibrox until everyone capitulated in the last 5 minutes. But it was even similar to that one at Motherwell, the last goal, where it looks like you or I in nets at sevens when you can't be bothered and you just let it get past you, and that was what the goal at Fir Park was really kind of adamant of that. I've never seen a goalie do that as often as I have him, but other than that I thought it was alright at Ibrox. But I think that Stryek, he's the number 1, so I think that he's got to come back in.
Me too. Absolutely. I think the full place gets a lift if he's in goals.
A lot more vocal, man.
Aye, he's the goalie for me. He's got to be doing it. Kelly Happel gets in touch. Hello, Sandy. How massive is the game on Wednesday night? Absolutely huge, mate. It's season defining potentially. Bullet, friend at Pod, says if you were stuck on a desert island with a poet or a beef and tomato pot noodle? Would you eat the pot and talk to the pot noodle? So, and then he's obviously followed that up saying, I need to address this properly.
The floor is yours, man.
So basically, friend of the pod, the Kelly Poet, replied to our one of our wee shorts about the rolling sausage, and basically said something about, what is this drivel?
Mm-hmm.
And I replied saying, can we just read out the questions we get for Kelly fans, similar to we have actually read out his poetry, which had the credibility of the credibility and the artistic substance of a beef and tomato pot noodle, right? So I was maybe a bit unkind about his poetry, right? But he was being unkind about talking about sausage rolls. So it's a peace offering to you, Ian, right? So let's be friends. You do your thing, we'll do yours, man.
Absolutely. Hey, too many good creators, man.
Exactly,
great creators, man.
Thanks for the question, Alan. Right.
Aye. So we've not answered the question.
I would talk to the poet and eat the beef and tomato pot. But how are you going to eat it? You're going to get a kettle.
Well,
maybe that
you're on an island,
just have it dry.
So you just get the seawater and then boil it down.
Right.
With like the fire that you would be setting by hand.
Aye. Okay.
Cavemen.
Right.
And then you've got your answer to your beef and tomato pot noodle, man.
Excellent. Right, Third Watch says, do you agree that having the new training centre will put Kelly in a better position to attract a better player? I can only see positives in having the facility. It would be interesting to hear what the manager thinks about it. So I think the new training centre is a big deal. I think it really does. But you're obviously battling with your St Mirren's, Motherwell's, Dundee's to get, we're on a similar pool, you're getting the same players, and if you can show them this shiny, brand new training ground facility that they're going to come to their work every day, I think it will make a big difference.
And we've been on here time and time again. I've been kind of open with that. I've don't really like the Astro. Like, I think it's a bigger excuse than what it is, but let's not be kidding, man. Players want to come and play in a good grass park. Like, so even with that, without the training ground, is a draw again to come to Kelly. And even for somebody that maybe doesn't, and we just joked about the stands, but me saying that the support's actually good when you consider the population and all the rest of it. But if players come down to England, they walk into Rugby Park and they see the stadium and a nice grass park, like they're well on board. It's better than can go to St Mirren's Legoland ground and that, you know what I mean? So I think that in its own, never mind if you've got a proper state-of-the-art training facility, which to be fair, like say, like St Mirren and that, they have training ground, so we're catching back up on that. But I think that will now put us back to where we should be in regards to the natural order of the so-called Diddy provincial clubs.
Great answer. Right, Alibaba gets in touch. Says, how much longer will you be content for the club to continue to lose the thick end of £1 million each year? So Ali is very up on the financial side of the club, very business minded, contributes really well right across the board in terms of like presenting the figures, and he asks a couple of really interesting questions, I thought, at the AGM and stuff like that. And Kelly seemed to have been operating at a loss for a very, very long time. I am not particularly business minded. I'm trying to get more interested in it. 10 years ago, I just wasn't interested really. I was just like, I don't really bother. It was the Michael Johnson stuff that really kind of locked me in on how important it was to have at least a handle on how things are getting run behind the scenes. But obviously that isn't sustainable for any business. So what's your thoughts on that, Cal?
No, absolutely. And again, Alibaba's been a huge supporter of us and
100%
for the podcast, but I'm not sure whether these questions like directed as if like we're culpable in that or not, because it's how comfortable are like yous with the situation. Whereas I think that we've said time and time again that you can think two things at once. You can thank Billy Bowie for all the millions of pounds that he's dug deep and done that, but the criticism's still there and we need to run more efficiently, both on and off the park. So there's space for both beliefs there.
Aye, absolutely. Well, it's one to keep an eye on, folks, and we always will do that. DMC says, given the magnitude of Wednesday versus St Mirren, should we expect them to be in the front foot from the get-go like Aberdeen? If we're drawing going into latter stages, should we be sending extra attackers on, sending the keeper up? Is there any world where we can avoid the bottom two even with a draw?
I think that's a brilliant question, to be honest, and I think that sums up where I'm at. Like, I'm like, we need to win that. Like,
we do.
A defeat to the point, it doesn't make much of a difference, to be honest, man. Like, can't focus, you never know. And McInnes is famous. You get points and bad points. You find out what they are coming into the season and all that. But I'm just like, a point in it doesn't really do much for me, to be honest, man. We need to go and win it, so I'm with that. I'm with further on. We need to absolutely cane them back, because St Mirren will be hiking their points probably enough.
Well, that's exactly the answer for me, mate. They would take a point now, and we've got to go and win that game. That's how I feel. Jasper says, well, we cuff St Mirren majestically with a diving header from Hugo in the 96th minute after playing 35 minutes with 10 men as usual. That would be nice, wouldn't it? We'd take that. 96 minute winner.
Oh, it'd be brilliant, man.
It'd be great, wouldn't it, on a Wednesday night?
I think that the one thing that separately will maybe need to come on to is the kind of discipline issue. Seems like last season all over again.
Aye, that's 5 red cards in 6 games or something.
Every game
right?
that we've lost, I think, under McCann, we've had somebody saying, oh,
no good enough. Got to be better. But aye, you've got to go for it. Got to get in amongst them. Right, mathematics says, are you boxers then socks then trackies, or boxers then trackies then socks? Do you always put your socks on in the same order? And which Scottish manager would you have loved to have had at Kilmarnock? So I am boxers, socks, trousers.
boxers.
I would never run about with just my socks on, man. What? I would run about with just my boxers on. That's like going to the swimming.
Aye.
But what are you doing? You can't be. Come on.
Aye. I'm boxers, trackies, socks.
And do you always put your socks on in the same order?
I get criticised for the way I put on socks.
Do you, mate?
Who?
Killian
and when we were in Dublin, man.
Right.
He goes, what are you doing? I goes, nothing wrong with what I'm doing here. But bear in mind, I've had a dodgy knee there that I've now had surgery on.
Oh, right. Should I say something about that?
I know, you know me, mate. I don't like to complain about it.
Right, so tell me about your.
Don't like I do anything wrong.
Right.
But I can put my socks on standing up.
Alright, you just curve your foot up towards your knee
and do that. I think that was the issue, that I didn't like sit down and.
Alright.
So I can like do that and put my socks on, then get it to a certain point and then pull the rest of it up.
Okay.
And I think that they weren't content with not the outcome but the process and which led to it.
Fucking hell, man. The Kelly poet was right. That's a shit.
Left or right first?
Left for me. Always left first.
Left footer.
Left footed, man. But aye, that's a good question actually. And right, which Scottish manager would you have loved to have at Kelly? That we didn't have.
Oh.
Probably would have been Tommy McLean for me back in the day. I was excited when that opportunity was coming up. I thought that would have been dead cool.
That's a good question, man. One that probably needs addressed, but to shout out to one of the most outrageous comments that were made on here about Derek Adams before.
Oh, aye, that's right, aye.
I remember when he was Ross County manager and we were seeking new management at that time, like as in back before, like, and then he ended up going to be like Colin Calderwood's assistant at Hibs. I really wanted Derek Adams, man. Aye, but I'm talking like 2010, 11ish.
Hindsight, man.
And he done a real, but his actual record's not that bad, to be honest. But just he's kind of lost the plot the last time he was up the road.
Right. Anybody else that springs to mind, Scottish? George Burley.
Nah.
David Moyes.
Well, we were debating that he probably wasn't good enough to be Kelly manager and Steve Clark.
Aye, Billy Brown.
Aye, well, he's been part of the bricks, man.
Aye. Okay, right, we'll maybe come back to that one. Sully Cooley gets in touch and says the forum anonymity thread recently shared some great stories and also the location of many of supporters, many from all over Scotland. Do you think the majority of Kilmarnock's fan base, 50% plus, live out with the town, or is the majority still within?
Again, very good question, and comes back to the point that I was addressing earlier on. But I still think that the forums is such a strange place, man, a place that we love, man. Like, generally, when we had Baz and that on here, we said that's like the first thing you look at in the morning, the last thing you look at night. And me and you were texting each other the other day about it. Supposed to be a way paying tribute to Manchester.
And you're on the forums, man.
The forums is still coming back to me. But forums is like a certain demographic of folk, and what I would say filters out a lot of bullshit. You still get a hell of a lot of toxicity on it. But what I will say is, like, out of your kind of friend circle, kind of different because the guilds are all kind of present on the forums to an extent. But how many of your mates that are Kelly fans are new on the forums?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think of my group of pals.
Aye.
Like, rarely any of them ever post in the forums or are on it as regular. But they all live in Kelly and go to the games all the time. So it could be skewed, and I think it's a huge thing for expats because they're no in the loop per se, so they rely on things like the forums. And again, to give ourselves a bit of credit, the amount of messages that we've had, the folks saying that this keeps them involved with the football club. So expats are more likely to can I do that?
Aye.
And I even include folk that's staying Irvine as an expat there, by the way. But yeah.
Excellent. Right, mate, good question. Right, Confidemus says, would you go with the same team that played Sevco on Wednesday minus Dom?
I will. Aye, you can play, obviously.
Aye, well, but obviously, but the same team other than that?
Aye, so Larson to a Mail maybe come back in?
Possibly. I would go with a totally different team though. I would change 3 or 4.
Aye, I would drag
Probably.
Bruce.
Aye. Bring Hugo in for the start, and Finlay Curtis is going to play.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there'll be a few changes, would be my personal opinion on that.
And again, with Bruce, I always think that he's a good striker to bring on.
Aye, I think he's better off in that role. And he also was having a moan about the 8 PM Saturday night kickoffs. What else do we have here? Blah, 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 blah. Responding to it. All the Wine says, who's the most Kelly player ever to never have played for Kelly? So Bob Malcolm should have played 11 games for us before retiring, for example. I've got an answer to that, and I've always felt this way, to the point where I'm like, did he play for us? And it was Darren Jackson back in the day.
Oh, he's a good player
Really
as well.
good player. I'm like, for some reason I thought I'm like, did he end up playing for us? So he was the one I was kind of Mandela effect myself. I can almost see him in the JJB strip.
Aye.
But obviously never did.
Aye.
So that was mine.
You'd have been
I think it was because he was an agent or something, and I used to see him at the games maybe.
Aye.
So that was the one for me, Darren Jackson. I always felt he should have played with us.
It's a tough one because you can look at that question from a few different angles. You've went in the Mandela effect route, which is a better one, but I'm thinking of folk that I'm like, they would have been really suited to, like, so I go for Dougie Emery.
Aye, in that year.
And he was close to signing, I think, a couple of times.
Right.
Him and Craig Bryson were supposed to sign about the same time, and it never materialised. And then you've also got honourable mentions to the likes of like Bob Harris, that was at Queen of the South.
Bob had nearly signed a few times, didn't he?
Consistently linked with Kelly. Chris Doolan.
Dools, I know he was close. He was definitely was.
Man, so.
Yeah, right, interesting. Right, Pie Boy says, hi guys, sorry I've not been great at getting questions in the past few weeks. St Mirren game is on Wednesday's huge. If it was Cal and Monty in the dugout on Wednesday instead of Neil and Billy, what would your starting 11 be, Mona Kelly?
Is Mail back then? I think he is, isn't he?
Right, you bringing Mail into the team then?
Aye, right, so if it was up to us then I'd go Stryek.
Stryek and goals, back 4 of
Mail, Shelty, Brundees, Larson.
Right, happy with that. You want to go a 3-3?
But I think that the John Jules is good up there with somebody as well. It's a tough one. But then I think you've got to go Lyons, Watson, Tish.
3, right.
And then a front 3 of, because this guy Hugo play kind of out wide and can
maybe.
and all
Curtis
that.
has got to start, hasn't he?
Curtis in the left or the right, and then either one of kind of John Jules or Hugo playing inside.
That would be my
kind of 3, a kind of lopsided Damon Brophy role in the Steve Clark team, if you will.
Right, I'm happy to go with that, mate. The Teeth Grinder got in touch. Hello, who left us a really nice comment as well on one of the threads. Read any decent books lately?
Lately? No, but you haven't you?
I've been reading some books.
Gaz's Wing.
Read an amazing book on the Russian Civil War and the kind of uprising of the Bolsheviks and all that. Aye, absolutely amazing. Anthony Beaver, the guy that Hingby loves in Peep Show. Mark Corrigan.
Aye.
So I read that last year. It was absolutely sensational. But over Christmas, I read 3 books. I finished Mike Joyce's book, Cathy Burke's, which was amazing, and Gaz's, which was entertaining, but maybe no going to win a Pulitzer.
Nah, I suppose.
So aye.
Although it was funny, it was a kind of moment coming in when we were in the wee shop. There was a book on it was on the Highland clearances, which used to terrify me when I was a wee boy.
Aye,
so as you can
right.
see, I've all been like completely radicalised into being the nationalist that I know I'm to this day, given that stuff like that terrified me. But it was written by Tom Devine, who was a national historian for Scotland, but I interviewed him for my dissertation and all that.
All right.
Complimented the work I'd done.
Excellent, there you go, mate.
Aye.
And was it on clearance, the book? Was it down to £3?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
No. So is that your answer to any recent books you've...
Aye, that was the book I laid eyes up on the day.
Right.
But it still scares me, so I don't know why I do.
Right, Kelly Steve says, pre-Aberdeen many would have bitten your hand off for 11th and a shot at survival via the playoff. Would you still take it if offered the chance right now? Still taking the playoff, or do you think we can beat it?
I think the worst will finish as a playoff.
Aye, I agree, so we've got to aim higher now. Andy says, where have all the seagulls gone? Folk will claim it's seasonal, but come on, I have seen seagulls around. Did we employ the dark arts to hunt them or not? People have to know.
Nah, they obviously still exist,
Aye.
but they're more prevalent in the summer
They're
months.
gonna
So
be back, mate.
just wait to the end of March, old boy, and they'll be swept in the stand, and that should go to them until the end of September, maybe.
Aye. Scary, mate, innit?
And thank God. Again, sorry, Marie, but we don't need to go to the summer.
Oh, it was really bad there for them, innit? Genuinely quite scary, because we're both quite scared of them.
Aye.
We don't like them very much. My wife has to beat them, like, she whacks them away and all that. She's no scared. I'm scared.
I hate them, man. I hate
Melanie's brave.
all kind of birds like that.
Aye, no nice. Right, Kelly Adventures got in touch via the X and said, "Evening guys, hope you're both well. The league position isn't great, but I can see McCann getting a tune out of them. If we continue to play like this, even if we're in the playoff, I believe we'll stay up and confident."
I'm exactly
I feel the
on that,
very
man.
same way.
Well said, John.
Captain Conker, the gorgeous mutated squirrel, says, "If we had a halftime Super Bowl style concert at Hampden for a Kelly Cup final, who would you pick to do it?"
So again, there's variables here because it's then going to be like Scottish related in it. So you can't just be like, oh, Oasis or whatever, because it's going to be a Scottish identity now.
Aye.
So who you thinking then? Who's like your kind of best? Right, and I have the obvious answer for Kelly. I would say Biffy Clyro.
Yes.
But who would you say would be like a good stadium band
To unite,
Scottish?
because you want like, everybody to get into it, really, don't you? At half time, so you can't just be. So you couldn't have the Proclaimers if you're playing Hibs.
Aye.
Get what I mean? That's no fair. You couldn't have Biffy Clyro if it was a Kelly game. So you're just really asking, who do you want at who you want at half time show at the cup final,
Aye.
innit? And really, who you looking at in Scotland? Michelle McManus.
Aye.
What about Amy McDonald?
Amy
Friend,
McDonald.
almost friend at Pod.
Aye, well, the kind of handshakes.
Aye, we're pretty
we're
close.
Pretty close with
It's
that.
very close personal friend of yours, a close personal friend of hers.
Aye.
Amy also welcome on any time. Good Kelly fan that she is.
But who'd you say band wise? Would they just be like Travis?
Deacon Blue or something.
Nah.
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 It's kind of inoffensive, gets everybody going, doesn't it?
Oh, I know. Good.
Good band.
You supported them.
Aye.
And
Did
the
back in the day.
Doctors in this.
Aye, that's right, mate. And Captain Conquer also asked, with 2 games this week and our game against Hearts moved to an 8 PM kickoff, do you think a kickoff time affects attending the game?
Well, without doubt, genuinely does. Again, we're going over the old ground. I'm a supporter of the 5 o'clock, 5:30 kick-off on a Saturday, but 8 o'clock is ludicrous.
Shite. Mark Adams says, "I was in my local yesterday watching the football and 3 young Kelly players were in, behaving impeccably and drinking soft drinks. Is this a big problem? Are our players not just drinking enough lager?"
I think that could be a big problem.
Aye.
It was Boris Johnson that was saying recently, wasn't it?
Right.
That like this generation doesn't do anything near the generation that he did. We like drink and other activities.
Right, okay. I think drink is, folk are coming off the drink.
Aye. Would you think of that?
Eh,
Surely a good thing, though.
I don't know why. I think it's probably a good thing you've got to fit. But what you're replacing it with? What they're doing instead? Sitting bloody playing their Nintendos, likely. Go for a pint, it's fine. Somebody I'd like to go for a pint with, it's Gunnar Vance. It's good to finally be looking forward to a game on Wednesday. I agree, it's massive. With the new Nando's now in Kelly, what's your favourite chicken shop?
Well, he'll be delighted with that. That's
Mel and I were in Nando's today for lunch.
And what did they have?
Pints of Sagres, £7.25, but my goodness, a pint of Sagres is a special thing.
So did you have a pint at?
No,
No.
it's working.
Aye. Oh, aye, right enough.
But I my favourite ever chicken shop, there was a chicken shop very short lived in Kilmarnock, down next to Witherspoons in one of the units that is now Sports Direct. It was called Favourite Chicken. They're still in existence in London specifically. It was only there for about a year, but my mates at the time will tell you just how good it was. Chris Kimmett's big brother, James Murray, Davy Hart, all they boys, we used to love Favourite Chicken, man. Immense.
It's a weird thing that it's like taking for something like Nando's for it to really, like in Scotland it's no that, but like America, like chickens,
They love it.
Like, aye, that's a huge thing, and obviously KFC and that goes without saying, but
Aye.
seems very much like in like kind of London based and all that. It seems all kind of new, but Pepe's is good.
Pepe's is good. I actually really like chicken. It's by far
Quite
my favourite.
expensive, right enough Pepe's,
Aye.
but it's good.
I like it. Good, mate. Okay. Mikey Kenmure says, I've submitted mine on the forums this week. Thank you, Mikey. Ali Niven says, friend at Pod, Tam Black is synonymous with the Sergeant Stripe kit. Right? Bobby Geddes with the rainbow goalie strip. Stevie Fulton with the skin tight red, and so on. What other players do you identify with a certain strip or moment?
Darren Jackson with the JJB.
Darren Jackson with JJB. Rab Gemmell says that Paul Heffernan with the lightsaber tap. Andy McLaren and Dargo with the 2001 away kit. Obviously, that was the anniversary of that 3-0 win last week and all.
Was that,
Against St Mirren. Any other players that jump straight into your head? Like Danny Armstrong for me is that season back up, kind of bluer one with the thin white stripes.
Absolutely.
So Danny Armstrong with the blue wristband.
Aye.
Ian Durant is the sports division. Puma, for me, synonymous.
Danny Invincible 0506, the blue that kind of goes into the light blue.
Aye, okay. Any others?
Well,
Stephen A. Smith, to go back to him, it's a yellow strip for me. You see him in? Must be that one that he
scored at Ibrox.
Aye.
And of course the hat trick in the semi-final. But if you think, when I say the name Chris Boyd, what tap do you picture him in your head?
Seriously strong.
Honestly,
aye. Mm-hmm. What about you?
For some reason, just when I've done that, just my mind's eye, I've just seen him in the red away kit under Clap.
Oh, QTS? Okay, and that's a good question actually. Alan Agnew, hello Alan. No gripe this week, still feeling under the weather.
Well, we hope he gets back. He better be the game on Wednesday, man.
Exactly, mate. Hope you're feeling a bit better, mate.
You better be back fit to moan about things, mate.
Exactly, we need it, man. Galak, get in touch. I've got a feeling of battle fever washing over me for this game on Wednesday. Season defining. The same kind of passion running through me, like when you were doing a call to arms for Dell to be booed out the stadium. Do you have this feeling for Wednesday? Or am I overplaying it? No, you're no overplaying it, mate, because I feel the very same and I'm buzzing. I'm just no making it so public this time, so I don't need to hide my face in shame.
I'm still no there yet.
No?
But I think maybe the more into the Wednesday I will be.
Come on.
I'm still grieving, mate. Come on.
I know. You've had a really kind of sombre day, mate, up in the Highlands. Kevin got in touch. I thought St Mirren were pissed versus Airdrie. Even the late winner didn't convince me. Victory 2-0 for Kelly is my prediction. What's your thoughts? What's your prediction for Wednesday night?
2-0.
2-0 with Kelly, boys. I'll go 2-1.
What about Celtic?
Last minute and 1 each v Celtic.
We equalise or Dame?
They'll miss a penalty in the last minute.
Bring back Chris Sutton for that, man.
Aye, blast it straight in.
Fairmont for Celtic
for lying down. Scott, 2 to go here. Scott says, anyone else disappointed that Brannan has been sent out on loan?
It's real tough one, because I was actually going to ask McCann at the AGM where he sees Brannan in his best position. Again, has he got to start though now? I just can't see him in a back four. So the logical thing is, if he's similar to Rangers with Curtis, I'm sure the Rangers fans would have rather kept him.
Aye, of course.
But what's the best thing for him?
Aye.
If he goes out and plays every week there.
Okay.
And just to reiterate, it was Alan Thompson that missed the penalty, wasn't it? Chris Sutton? I don't know. But Chris Sutton was just been a baby after. It was Thompson that missed the penalty.
Thompson missed the penalty. Right, and the last one's for Peter. Hi, Peter. Hopefully 3 points on Wednesday. However, if it's a defeat, do we reckon being 9 points adrift to the teams above us is too much to claw back? Definitely improved performances, but it might be too late, in my honest opinion. I'm with you there, Peter. I honestly do see green shoots of recovery, but I do think we need to win on Wednesday.
Aye.
That's me.
Aye, and it's one of those, like, and it will come to the big realisation, like, if we don't win on Wednesday, that's not me saying, oh, it's so, like, Ken, you're just like, right, get ourselves prepared best we can, be in as strong a position as possible, get into the playoffs. That's the way I'm looking at it. And then above that's a bonus, because like, it doesn't mean I'm losing faith if we don't do that, but if we really are talking about catching anybody above us, then we have to win winnable home games.
Aye, there you go. Simple as that, mate. Alright, will we do all roads lead to Kelly? Have we got it prepared? No? We haven't, haven't we?
I was going to try and look up during that.
We'll come back to it next week, guys. It's just been, Cal's been up
grieving.
Forefathers. It's been really upsetting for him. This stuff with Keir Starmer's totally knocked him off kilter. I'm obviously in the middle of preparing for the next stage of my life, but currently we're both still in our 30s.
Yeah. So
it's all good. So we'll get back to that next time. Right, that's just about us then, mate. It's been a busy one again.
That's us, aye.
But I've enjoyed it.
I've been good being back, man.
It's good to be back into it. So a huge week, 2 massive games. Get along to both if you possibly can. And if we're sitting here next week with 4 points, the Great Escape is on. Anything less than that, I still think it's going to take a big, a dramatic sort of downturn for somebody else for us to get in the hunt. So no pressure, lads, but let's go and do it. I'm looking forward to seeing these new signings, man.
We've got to get Stu to play that out for us if we do it.
You think so?
The Great Escape.
The Great Escape, we come out with the wee theme song. We maybe do that if we can get the copyright right. Okay, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you everybody for all your nice messages. We do appreciate every one of them. If you see us at the game Wednesday or Sunday, come up and say hello. Get along and support the boys. They need it. We're on this together now. This is it. The dice is rolling. Big well done again to the women who are cruising that league. They're going to get promoted and up to the the big league and all, which is exciting for them, and you'll get to watch the games in BBC Alba and all that, which is all good for the club.
That'd be excellent, aye.
So exciting times for them, so hats off. Right, everybody, take it easy. Nice to be with you, and 2 big games, enjoy them, and we'll be back next week talking about 4 points, I'm sure, mate.
Indeed, we will be.
Alright, see you later, everybody. Cheers.